Good morning, almost afternoon. Sacred Spiritual Healer here. Just finished cleansing all the cards, right, so that we are ready for the readings. Let me clear the desk here. Get all the shuffling. Stack them up off to the side so they're ready for us, right? And you can email me for private readings at sacredspiritualhealer@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook. Alright. Oops, that one stays out. Thank you, Spirit. Also, those that would like a personal reading, you can email me, sacredspiritualhealer@gmail.com. And if the messages here don't resonate, there are certainly other tarot readers on YouTube. Genders are non-specific. Energies can be reversed, as we all know. All right. Thank you. I've already called in the spirits. Hopefully today the computer doesn't shut down, right? We're done with all Mercury retrograde so far. I've had the most bizarre issues with my computer. Also burned my finger on my incense this morning. So overall, it's been very interesting. I don't know how you burn your finger on an incense, right? Spirit, give us the most true and precise messages for the collective at this time. The overall energy for collective, true precise energy, please. And again, these are the newest cards, so I will be reading from the book the meaning of the two cards that we pull, one for the Divine Feminine, please, and one for the Divine Masculine, please. Thank you, Spirit. Until I get accustomed to them. They are the tarot, so they're supposed to be equivalent to the cups and pentacles. However, they're very different at the same time. Divine Feminine, you got the 6 of rocks, 6 of stones. It's the reflection in the mirror. And then the Divine Masculines got this again, which is a great card, I thought. 7 of bones, which is like the David and Goliath to me. But let me grab the book and we'll give you the meaning it was meant for. 6 of stones. So return of the soul. Divine Feminines, you got return of the soul. Even in suffering, a new harmony flows in the depths. Ancient memories, once removed, come to the surface, bringing wonder and nostalgia. Divine Masculine, you got the Serpent of the Vision. And the Libra, let me just check. Oh, sorry. Hold that thought. Okay. Spiritual struggle. Divine Masculine. Questioning of the nature of one's own fears. Psychological projections onto others. Difficulties that are more imaginary than real. So this is facing your fears, knowing that fear is an illusion. Divine Feminines, we have the stone. Just want to make sure that that was correct. Return of the soul, yeah. So what I get from the channeling though is return of the soul. So this is how we see ourselves. When we look in the mirror, we may see ourselves as broken, injured, trying to put the pieces of our lives back together, the pieces that, because we are changed once we ascend to our higher being of our high priestess energy, we are changed. We may have once been broken or shattered, but we've put the pieces back together, and now we have a new reflection. We not only see ourselves as different, but others can see the difference, the change in you, the glow of the love and light within you. Know that your spirit guides are near you at all times. Your animal totems are there, regardless whether you were from the old or the new. They still recognize your soul. Divine masculines have the seven of bones, as we mentioned, and this is to me the David and Goliath. Facing your fears, things are not as they appear. Sometimes we work things up in our mind and we think the worst case scenarios to the point of it could just be something so simple to do or to make that move, but you've built it up like the child that is afraid of a monster under the bed, right? And they are so sure that it's real, they're afraid to go in their room at night. But as an awakened adult, we know not that couldn't be spirits under the bed, but that they're not there to harm them, that they can, rest and get a good night's sleep. And these are the way that the masculines are projecting, afraid to move forward towards their feminine, perhaps. Just going to give example. Maybe they're thinking, oh my gosh, she's a queen of swords, she's going to cut my head off. She's never going to forgive me or have mercy on my soul for the things I've done. She wouldn't understand what I've gone through in my life. These sorts of fears have built up this huge, gigantic monster in their heads, but in reality, the divine feminines will have mercy. They will be understanding, because as high priestess, we already know things. We have the all-knowing. We've seen the things of the future, the things of the past, and the things of the present. And our spirit guides support us in letting us know things that we needed to know regarding our divine masculine, so that we could be prepared, so we could accept them unconditionally with unconditional love. I can still pull two from my favorite deck. So divine feminine, you get the bat. Divine masculine, getting the shark. Again, the deepest, delving down deep in their emotions. There are the huge lies or issues that need to be brought to the surface. These are things that if in the way of a shark, and I know I started with the feminine before, but I'm going to just keep going with the masculine here for a minute. The masculines are seeing this as maybe it was a minnow of an idea, but they're imagining it that it's going to be a great white shark issue type thing. So this is a comparison with the little issue that they're perceiving as, Goliath here. But they're down in their emotions, they're bringing these things up, but if we do ignore these little things as they are festering in their minds, that they will turn in imaginary-wise, fear-wise, to the great white shark. But, so don't leave them to linger, deal with them as they come up, be in your truth, you should say, hey, this is the way it is. They're words. Someone either accepts your truth or they don't. Their opinions are not going to affect you. They're not going to make you melt to water. Right? So speak your truth regarding the things, and if they're things of your past, say you once were an alcoholic and now you're a recovering alcoholic, well, that only shows the strength that you've had to overcome such a generational curse, right? So others may perceive it better than you're expecting, is the energy I'm getting from this. And that, of course, with the divine feminine, you're not afraid of the dark, you're at home in the dark. You're at home not only in the emotions, but in the other worlds, the other dimensions we travel within. We can, go to the galaxy, we can go to the other dimensions, to the dark world and back, and we can play with that energy like a ball of fire in our hands, right? Because we are at that level of ascension with our energy and our high priest energy. So the bat here is flying not only from the moonlight into the dark and back, and this may be just a very small, it almost like a mouse, right, with wings, is what it always reminds me of. So it still is very mouse-like, very small, until it spreads its wings and flies. Then it might feel large. And more capable when we spread our wings and fly. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. Let's get on with our reading. Overall energy for the flame journey, twin journey. And then we'll follow this reading with a career and finance separate, so that if you're interested in that avenue of your day's energy, then you can catch us on the next video. Spirit, give us true and precise messages, please, for the connection between the twin flames, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. We're going to start off at the top of the 3D, the body, the center is the mind, bottom is the heart and soul of the issue or energy. So the body in 3D, please listen to physical 3D, coming to energy, coming forward today, please 24 hours. Surrender. Someone surrendering to the divine, their old ways. You. Spirit said this was reversed. And we have 2 more here. Okay, and sorry. Okay, and in the spirit, or in their mind, what's in their mind? What are the divine masculines and divine feminines thinking about in their mind space, please? That broken heart always comes up. You gotta go in and do that inner child healing so that's no longer on your mind. When you're giving it thought, you're giving it energy, which is still keeping it alive, keeping it as a block for movement forward. Give it a rest already, basically. And for some reason I have a very blunt energy today. I don't know if anyone else does. It's like just telling it like it is. So if that offends anyone, I'll apologize. It's just the energy I'm picking up on right now is very forward, which is not from the energy I woke up with. So it's definitely coming through in the cards. Oh, and we got a death card up. Okay, a lot going on from one extreme to the other. It's the death, the first of the heart and soul. And move this upright. This is reverse. Reverse. This one reverse. Oh, didn't notice that fell out also. Here. Okay. Starting off with 3D in the body, what's actually physical happening is someone's going within. I'm getting divine masculine energy with this. They're surrendering to spirit, saying, I'm here, show me what I need to do, show me the next step, what do I need to uproot, how do I uproot those old belief systems I've tried in my earthly way, or my own way, doing this now, it isn't working. He's very frustrated with trying things his own way and ready to finally surrender to the divine to say, lead me into this, show me what I need to do to make this right. How do I get to reach out to my Queen of Cups in my emotions and let her know my truth when they are trying to hold back their... It's not that they don't want to be in their truth, it's too emotional for them, it's very painful for them to come forward very humbling. They're still in their pride and ego, that which is causing that emotional battle of ego, pride, and emotion. So they're keeping their foot in the water of emotions, that they want to come forth to the Queen of Cups, hoping that she'll accept their cup of love, though at this point this energy of this Queen is saying, no, let me see what you've got. What do you got to say? Bring me your emotions, bring me your truth, without the ego and pride, and then we'll see, then we'll talk. That's the energy of the Queen at this time. Alright, the Divine Masculine, or whoever, could be, again, I'm saying it's a guy on the cards, I'm calling it the masculine. It could be the feminine, if it portrays, however it plays for you and your energy. But this is choices, right? The Divine Cup that the Divine gave them. The Divine's giving them the knowledge and the focus of the messages in their third eye, saying this is your Divine Cup that we have offered, bringing to you as a gift. This is what you've asked for. This is contracted to you before you came to Earth. But then there are the soulmates, right? The karmic soulmate lessons that they have all around them, saying to well, I won't say tease, but to test them, to entice them, to see if they take this test. Thank you, Spirit. So yes, there will be those other offers around them, but to know that they need to be strong in this connection, be strong-willed enough to know that the divine connection is the cup that they need to take and follow for things to blossom and not die off. In the event they still choose a karmic, or they choose that person near them that's enticing them with seductive energy, I get, then that is a test, and obviously they'll have karma to pay for that, which will delay union with this divine feminine. Because they're not choosing at this point, they're not willing to make the choice. Because it's in reverse, they are not seeing that was the divine connection, that this was what they asked for, this was what they contracted for before they came reincarnated here to Earth. And so maybe they're still entertaining these things that are enticing them and testing them, having to then pay out the karma with their karmic partner, spouse, or co-workers. This could be, it doesn't always have to be a person, it could be person, place, or thing. It's an end of a cycle either way here. People are having ends of cycles and beginnings of cycles, so they've gone from the moon energy to the dark and back to the sun following the day. They are in their emotions, they're holding true to the flame connection, they are being grounded with the earthly energy, but know that this ending has come and a new start has begun. So if there's a new karmic cycle and they're choosing a karmic, or they're choosing to be enticed or entertain these people that are enticing them, or jobs, then that's going to have to work its way out through another cycle, because this is the end in a new cycle, which prolongs, obviously, the union. But some are focused on, in the 3D, are looking to build and setting plans in place, listening to the third eye to bring in that harvest of the family, the inner child, being youthful and playful, trying to come together in this stability, building their pentacles, and they want to grow old together, but there's still something dividing them. There's still this picket, this rail fence here that's dividing these two. So while that may be what they're working towards, there's still something blocking them from being together. They're looking at the cups spilled. This could be blood or love, fake, false love. Could be blood spilt as well. It could be wine, but there's a fish here in this puddle. Didn't see that before. But you know how in the one cup there's a cup with the fish in it, which is like a false love, right? It might be a cup that's pretending to be love, but really it's just a fish in the cup, and that's what's been spilled here, because the divine cups are here. He's got his own cup and the divine cup, trying to balance them out to make that decision of, look, this is all I have left. and feeling remorseful about losing all of this, but this was not meant for him. This was false. He wants to move, this person wants to move forward towards the calm waters and share their emotions. Okay, in the mind space of the collective is the king and queen. Although this is the king of wands, queen of pentacles, he's thinking of her, she's thinking of him. So the masculines feel like they're in their power, they're grounded in their earthly energy. Perhaps this is a Taurus, Virgo, Sagittarius, Capricorn, listening to their person over here above them, but they have two birds here, so they're kind of one in each ear, thinking that sitting here in his throne of wands, that's his in and out energy, player energy, right? Trying to focus and move forward with his wand energy, with both of these on their mind. Sorry. Okay, so Queen of Pentacles being very loyal, sitting firmly, grounded energy, listening to her higher self. It is in the upright. She's being grounded with earning her pentacles and trusting in the divine. So she's very calm and relaxed in her throne as a queen. And remember, the Empress is all four queens, so I'm sure we'll get the Empress out here eventually. Underneath the Four of Cups physical, we have the Seven of Pentacles. She's watering, perhaps over-watering these trees, but she is still nurturing them as the Queen of Pentacles. This is the Seven of Pentacles, same loyal dog right at her side. She's still draped in green, in her heart chakra open, being very fruitful in what she's nurturing. But perhaps she's over-watering the divine masculine and needs to focus more on herself. Focus more on her pentacles so that she doesn't overwater. Remember, this is what she's thinking about, is nurturing him and giving to him her energy, her, during meditation, sending him healing energy, healing vibes, and sending him messages or staying in touch with him if they are already in contact. Alright, here again, that's all she can think about is him, even though his head is still covered because he's got more than one person keep talking in his ear. But she's concentrating only on him. They're still at a distance because his head's covered here. She is focused on, or studying the science behind the journey, being there's growth. She's very grounded with her pentacles abundant. But perhaps what she's thinking about with his head covered is that heart, broken heart, the heart space that regarding the flame, she knows the light is there. The light has been shown on the situation of the broken heart, of the multiple persons or person, place, or thing that has come between her and her love regarding this cycle. Her spirit guides are here speaking to her regarding this, but she needs to let this go. She needs to have acceptance and heal herself, heal her inner child, so that, and same with him, so that they can then come from an understanding of acceptance and mercy regarding the communication that's going to be coming in regarding this. Because in the mind space, he wants to move forward. He wants to put down the burdens that no longer serve him, carry forth the one wand of communication, swift communication towards her, knowing that she is at his side and always on his mind. Okay, in the heart space, we recently, in the soul, this is the heart and soul. So the soul recently had his death. Perhaps it was an upgraded soul. Perhaps it's the death of the old soul, the new soul, the old way of seeing things, the actual awakening type death of ascension. Seeing things differently. This face here looks like a mask that he's fell off in, perhaps. So seeing things from a different perspective now, coming up out of this death energy, seeing things in a way that he knows that he needs to move forward, but with this bridle, he's trying to control the situation. He wants to move out of his emotions and move forward with his cup of love, but regarding this feather in his cap, but he's still masked. He's not removing the mask. He's not in his truth, and he's trying to control the situation with the bridle. In his heart and mind and hers, they both know that they are divinely connected, that they want equal give and take. They want to plant seeds to bring this to fruition, work on getting to the bottom or digging to the bottom of these things that need to be healed regarding the signs of the journey. They, the youngers, they want to grow old together. This is not releasing, not letting go. Again, the stubborn energy, even though the death that was here, still controlling. This is in reverse, so he just doesn't want to release and let go, or she hasn't released and let go. Once she releases, she knows the journey. She's holding the wand. She's got the science of it to her heart. She knows that there were other options there. And she kept overwatering, over-nurturing him, just focusing on him and not letting it... Sorry, 11:11, by the way. She needs to release him so that if it was meant to be, he'll come back to her, right? And so she needs to release and stop overwatering and focus on herself, not focusing so much on him, especially with him being blinded to the connection here. Once she does this, she's in her high priestess mode, because then she will raise her own energy level and vibration up, that he will then see her worth of her setting boundaries and saying, oh, I don't want to be a third party situation, I don't want to be a side piece. However, that she will be grounded in her beliefs of this journey. So again, he comes back to her, but then she may have to fight and stand her ground regarding this connection. There may be other people that don't understand this connection. There may be people that are trying to block the connection as well here with this card. The Ace of Pentacles in reverse. The intuition, you're understanding the science of the journey, building your pentacles, growing, want to grow the growth of your belief, the growth of your spiritual growth. Thank you, Spirit. Your spiritual growth and listening to yourself, your intuition. But this is a reverse, so you need to work on that. Of course, once she releases and she stands up for her beliefs, or stands up against the people that are trying to block her from her connection, she steps into her high priest mode, studying again the science of the journey, healing the inner child, and as she heals herself, she heals her divine masculine, or whoever awoke first, right, heals the second. Understanding of without darkness there is no light, and as a high priestess she can go from the dark to the light to do this inner child healing. And for the masculines there, this then causes them to realize if she releases him and she gains that high priestess mode of healing the inner child and healing her and focusing on healing herself, this causes him to fly in, the hawk energy coming in truth. The hawk's going to bring him in, although his mask is still down, his wand is here, flighting, that fast movement coming in, thinking he might still have control, but he really thinks that if he's fooling himself that he has control over the hawk of truth, right? But this is in his heart space and hers. So let's get clarification. So we're going to clarify the surrender judgment cards. Thank you. Wouldn't be normal if we didn't throw one or two on the floor. Alright, Four of Swords. Judgment. right? We're clarifying judgment here, and it's the Four of Swords. They're coming, one sword is up and the rest are down, so they've come with some truth, and now they can rest for a while, being barefoot or feeling more vulnerable here with hands crossed, face up, no shoes, but the one sword is up, the sword of truth. So once they surrender to the divine, saying, here I am, show me what I need to do, and they can rest knowing that Spirit will guide them. Too many. Clarify the Queen of Cups. Clarify the Queen of Cups. Eight of Cups in reverse. Eight of Cups, here would be that she was turning her back, looking on the cups or the options and moving towards calm waters, but it's in reverse, so she's not turning her back on this. She's just resting with her hand over the cup, regarding this, waiting for the truth, waiting for communication regarding the three-party situations that are of the past. Alright, so this was still on here. Working on the Six of Cups regarding the three. She wants truth to come in regarding and an ending, of course, to the three-party situations, knowing that she also wants the equal give and take, Six of Cups. She's looking forward to the Ten of Pentacles, where she's willing to put the work in and be abundant with her partner, that once he turns his back on the other parties involved. And again, it could be a she to a he, not always the guy. Chariot wants to move forward, and you'll see she's driving the reins. So whether she's willing to, here, she's willing to move the Chariot forward on herself, on her own, on her own as needed, out of the moon shadows and forward if need be. So she's covering the cup here in that as a Queen of Cups, saying, look, come to me in truth, come to me with equal give and take regarding this. Turn your back on the other persons or options, and we can move forward in the Chariot. In other words, I'm moving forward alone. You go, girl. Four of Cups in reverse, Four of Cups in reverse. She's not seeing the divine cup as such. Yes, so he's going into Hermit stage. Spirit's going to send him to Hermit stage, or he'll get a tower. But right now he has the Hermit studying, following the light, and she is his light, guiding him to the understanding of the divine. As a Page of Wands, she moves things forward with communication. Ace of Pentacles, she is abundant. She working on the Pentacles, building things up, but she's confident in herself and in her growth, although she knows to keep the gate open so when he can come to her correctly, that it's there. She's caring for self, not just waiting, but in a sense waiting for him. But having the strength to move forward, having the strength to follow that divine cup, to choose correctly. Wheel of Fortune then wants to turn regarding the world. This is, remember, the ending of that cycle and the start of a new. The Wheel of Fortune wants to turn forward. Putting an end to those sleepless nights, Nine of Swords, but in reverse. So putting an end to those sleepless nights, worrying and counting all the karmic things that they've done, the lessons they've had to endure. And they are going to be putting the work in together for the Three of Pentacles, because he understands, or has, with the Wheel of Fortune turning forward, she's in her Empress mode. She's all four queens in one. She births the new beginnings, she births the new businesses, the family perhaps. However, remember, she's the Queen of Cups, Queen of Swords, Queen of Rods. Pentacles. Did I say that one? Five of Cups. Clarify Five of Cups, please. Five of Cups, Five of Pentacles in reverse. Got two fives here. And was this one a 5? No, 10. Ending. Five of Cups in reverse, or upright. Five of Pentacles reverse, coming out of the cold. Okay, let's move on to the what's in the mind space, spirit, mind space. What are they thinking about? The King of Wands, thinking he's going to have justice. What is with this? I do apologize. Evidently I was hitting snooze on that alarm. And it has nothing to do with the reading, it's just the alarm that's set on the phone. Queen of Pentacles. Clarify Queen of Pentacles, while the King is receiving justice regarding his decisions. He wants justice in the matter of how he's going to handle. Perhaps there's relationships that have to come to a close. Perhaps there's child support or custody battles, court cases, divorces that need to be had. This is like justice. He wants the justice in any of those decisions to move forward with the Queen, or his Empress, Page of Swords, her willing to carry forth her sword of truth, but pondering. This is almost like her thinking, am I going to have to use this sword, or do I continue on my own? Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, over-watering, over-nurturing, Tower moment comes in, so that she then surrenders, or offers her cup of love that she has for herself, understanding that she needs to fill herself with self-love, and Spirit rewards her with the rainbow, the gifts at the end of the rainbow, which she also then sets her own boundaries and says, I've done the healing of myself, I'm setting boundaries, what I will or won't accept, and these other two parties are what I won't accept. I'm setting my boundaries, and I have a sword to use if I need to. Nine of Pentacles, still focused on him. This is in the mind space, remember. Okay, King of Wands. So she's thinking of her King of Wands and the Lion, Lioness, the duality of the two, right? Of little animal energy there, animalistic energy. Is that the prowlness I'm getting? Also, the Seven of Swords was that, saying she's going to take the things that serve her and move forward. What's the Three Swords? Just start over. There's my Three Swords in the mind space. Thank you. Three Swords regarding the Hierophant. Yes, he does look like he's just suave in his Three of Hearts, pretending not to have that broken heart, right? But he has the two flames, one on each side, the pillars beside him that have not fallen, and she has the Nine of Wands, turning her back to being fenced in or closed off, taking her wand and moving forward. And he, in his mind space, wants to move forward, leaving behind the burdens that no longer serve him regarding this. And perhaps those heartaches, he's done the healing, so those heartaches aren't serving him, and he's leaving those behind. Temperance is here to balance that out, help him to heal, Two of Wands so that he can choose the correctly and move forward. What's in the heart space? Heart and soul, death. Starting off with death today, of the soul, death of the soul, death of the heart. Clarify. Is the Eight of Swords energy, and Seven of Cups, giving options. Then once that his soul has died and awakened, then she has options. Then the death happened. The death of the soul happened on the masculine side. But with this Knight of Cups, we have a Knight of Pentacles moving in, realizing with the Knight of Cups, he, remember, was trying to control the situation, come up out of his emotions, but keeping his mask down, keeping control with the bridle that he put on a fish, so that he can move forward. But here we have letting go of that control because there's no bridle on the horse. Coming in with his pentacles, making an offer, and being in truth because there's no mask. Okay, Six of Cups. In his heart space, in his soul, he wants to grow old with her. Equal give and take. Yeah, moving out of that moon energy, coming out of the shadows as the Emperor. This is a senior person who's studied and intelligent, who's the teacher, the boss at work, someone who's grounded in their energy and thinks of things before they act, and doesn't just, he might send the page out to do the message for him instead of him doing it himself. He's also very still driven with the central energy, only because at the top of his throne he has two goat heads, and goat heads always mean like sexual or central energy. And then the other one is the Eight of Pentacles. She's building it because her Emperor here knows that she's building her pentacles and still keeping the flame lit, but not paying attention to it, not over nurturing it, paying attention to herself and healing herself, grounding herself, so that she can then release him because she's focused on herself. Clarify this. Three of Wands, Spirit, clarify Three of Wands. Oh, with Nine of Cups, filling her own cups up after she does release them so that she can have the Ten of Cups. Clarify Six of Wands, please. Clarify Six of Wands, running out of cards here. The Queen of Wands, standing her ground, knowing her worth, and she gets the Sun card. She's victorious in this matter. She knows her power. You can see she's welding the power from her fingers. So she's then in her High Priest energy. Ace of Pentacles was in reverse. Clarify this Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, the choice has been made. She's nurturing herself still. Not worried about the 3 cups on the ground that have been spilt. She's got the other 2, and she's confident in that as she stands with her head up, wrapping herself, caring for herself. Because she knows that when he does come forward, it'll be stable with the Four of Wands. Because she understands that she is the High Priestess. She's in her power. She knows her worth. And she won't settle for anything except coming to her correctly. When he puts down the burdens that don't serve him, Seven of Wands stops being so defensive. And when he can take that leap of faith forward with the Fool card and bring forth that Ace of Cups. Clarify the Knight of Wands, please. Clarify the Knight of Wands. Thank you. There's the King of Cups. Coming forward, moving forward. Because he wants to reach out to her. He wants to bring messages because she's moving forward without him in the boat, taking her burdens and moving on. So he's coming fast as that king. Regarding the Two of Cups, which this is better than the Lover's card or the the Two of Cups is that he brings a cup to the table and she brings her cup to the table. It's equal give and take. If she nurtures him with her cup, he will then reciprocate and give nourishment to her with his cup. So when she sends him positive energy, he sends her positive energy. Two of Cups. And Knight of Swords, coming in his truth without the coming in his truth with the sword lit in his more in his power. His face does not have a mask on it as well. And on the bottom we have the Star card, because he knows she is the star that's guiding him. Alright, let's get you some angel messages. Spirit, what would you like? What messages would you like for the collective? Angel of Emergence. Now is the time. It is time for you. It is time for the real you to emerge. Stop being someone you're not. Stop putting on the face or the mask. Be in your truth and be you. God of spiritual healing is an aspect of you or a situation in your life is in need of healing. Your inner child needs to be healed. God of the underworld. Something which no longer serves you is about to end. Yes, remember? The soul changing of the dead. It's going to end your ego. It'll be a death of ego, a death of your pride. You need to surrender them because they no longer serve you. And we have Goddess of the Shadows, like we just said. What you perceive to be your dark side also holds hidden treasures. Okay, so that's what I have for you for the connection of the journey. And follow us on the next video for the career and finance. Have a blessed day.